everybody, and welcome to episode 70 of All About African Violets. All About African Violets is musically sponsored by Ted Yoder. You can hear and purchase his wonderful music on his website at tedyoder.com. It is also available from iTunes. Hi everybody, welcome to my sunroom. Forgive my interesting voice. I came back from Scotland with a cold. And I'm feeling pretty good by today, but I'm going to have this interesting voice for another few days. Anyway, come on in. I've got my tea because it's cold here. Got cold in the time I was gone. Yum. And Scotland was wonderful. I had a great, wonderful time. And but you know what? I was ready to come home. That's one of the wonderful things about traveling, is coming home again. So I'm home. I'm so glad that so many of you enjoyed the interviews that I shared with you while I was away. I had so much fun talking with Bill Foster and with Meredith and with Janet and with Linda, and I'm so glad that you guys were able to, that I could share that with you and you were able to have those while I was away. I was glad I could set that up. Well, I'm thinking that today actually might be a slightly longer episode because I have a lot to share with you. So I did want to tell you guys that my burns all healed up really well. They took a while, but everything was healed up. Thank you for those of you who left me tips on what to do if I'm doing this again, making reservoirs. I will be more careful. It was quite a surprise, you know, to get a big blob of hot plastic on my hand. It was like, oh, and it really hurt. And I have interesting things to share with you, as I mentioned, but I also have something sad to share with you this week. Jan Bruns, who was the wife of Joe Bruns, who, as you guys know, Joe is the creator of First Class 2 and the classification and entries program that every club, every organization in the African Violet world uses for their shows. His wife, Jan, passed away this week, and she was a very well-known grower for many, many years here in Illinois. And I will link in the show notes to the obituary that was written about her in the Chicago Sun-Times. She really was a tremendous grower. I had the privilege of meeting her one time. She was just so wonderful and charming, and I wish that I had had more opportunity to know her better. And I'm very sad that she's passed away. For those of you who might have known Jan, should you wish to, make a donation perhaps to the Tenary Endowment Fund through the AVSA. I'm sure that Joe would be thrilled and very appreciative of that. You can send that directly to the AVSA. I'll link to the AVSA website where you can get the address. Anyway, let's move right into tips and treasures, because I have some treasure for you today. And first, I have actually two really interesting and wonderful things to share with you. First, I have one more interview from National, and I'm going to share it with you today. And it's Paula Bell, and she is from New Jersey. She is very active in the Garden State Club and also in the Tri-State African Violet Council, which is having its annual show in next weekend. I think it's November 3rd. I have it right here. I can tell you when it is. It's next Sunday, November 3rd. So I thought this would be a timely time to share my interview with Paula. She is one of the most delightful people, and I know she watches the podcast. Hi, Paula. And she sat down with me at National, and we just had the most wonderful conversation. And you guys, you're going to learn about tattoo wash bottles. I'll see you on the other side. Hi
Hi everybody, I'm still here at National, and I'm here with Paula Bell. She is from New Jersey. She watches the podcast, and she is very, very active in her club, and she is a great grower. So she agreed to sit down with me, and we found out that we have a lot in common, and so we're going to talk about violets. So Paula, thank you for doing this. This is
You're
great.
welcome, Annie. I love you.
And she also said
pardon me because
this-
I lost my voice. I think from the air conditioner, so I sound very hoarse.
But
thank
yeah,
you.
it's cold. It's cold in here, you guys. Even I'm kind of cold. So tell me, how did you become interested in violets?
I became interested in violets when I was 10 years old.
So you were a little kid.
I was a little girl. My grandfather got me into the plants.
Okay.
And it was our bonding thing. I would sleep over their house over the weekend.
Yeah.
And we would start leaves and watch how the leaves grew and repotted them. And I became interested then.
So you've been growing violets since you were a little girl.
10
Pretty
years
much
old.
steadily?
Steadily, probably until I was a teenager, and then I became a brat. I'm joking. No, but then I did what
you were a
teenagers do.
Teenagers, yeah.
And, got friends and didn't sleep over as much and lost interest then. And then in my 20s, I had a newfound interest in them. And I dragged my mom to the Lancaster Convention when I was 23.
Okay.
And that was in 1992, I think.
Okay.
I hybridized some back then, and I grew them on light stands, and just for fun. I never joined a club back then.
Okay, but now your club, tell me the name of it again.
Garden State African Violet Club,
Okay.
and I'm also a member of the Tri-State African Violet
Tri-State,
Council. I'm a
okay.
treasurer for that club and a president for Garden State.
Awesome. All right, so you are also a hybridizer, aren't you? A beginning,
Yes,
a
I
budding
am.
hybridizer?
A budding hybridizer, no pun intended.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was. Oh, I must be tired.
Ba-dum-bump.
But on bump, that went right by me. Thank you. I'm a really good straight person, for those good jokes. So we have something to look forward to. We'll be seeing some of your hybrids. When will we be seeing them?
I'm on my second generation of 2 of my hybrids right now.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I'm going to be using this as my surname, but I think I'm thinking of Lucky's as my surname.
that.
Yeah, because that's how I feel in life. I'm
Lucky?
very lucky.
Yes, me too.
And
Me
one of
too.
them is called PB and J, and it can be seen on the African Violet. Garden State African Violet Facebook page if anybody wants to see the photos.
Okay.
And I can link it to you.
Can we link
Yeah,
to
I
it?
can link
Okay,
to
we'll
it.
link to it.
And then the other one is called Grandpa's Gift. That was my first seedling.
And how
that
wonderful
was
is that?
for Grandpa,
It's such
so.
a great memory.
Yes.
That's wonderful. So, how do you grow your plants? Do you have light cards? Do
Yes.
you wick? What do you do?
I have
What's your setup
fluorescent
like?
light carts,
Okay.
and I grow most of them. My show plants I grow through wick watering, and my babies usually through capillary matting, so I could water a lot of them.
Okay. So, how many plants do you have?
Too many. I don't limit my collection, like Annie tells me to do.
Well, but we already know I'm busted on that from National.
Right.
So,
Right. So I have about 300 plants.
holy mackerel, that's a lot. That's exciting, though.
It is.
So 300 plants. So it would make sense that you would wick water and mat water.
Yes.
We talk about all these
Right.
different types of watering. When you have that many plants, you almost have to do that. Yeah.
To save time, and I keep them in different stages. Like I'll grow about 100 show plants.
Okay.
I usually take only about 50, just because of transport reasons, and the rest are on matting. So it's fairly easy. It's not as complicated as it sounds.
So when you make your choices for show plants, then do you take them off the matting? Do you start to saucer water them? Do you give them different type of attention?
I look for symmetry mostly in a seedling that's just on a mat that I haven't really done much to.
Okay.
So if something has really good symmetry, I'm going to take it off the mat and TLC from that baby. And I usually try to remove as many baby leaves and start the symmetry early.
Okay.
So that you can see it'll automatically just form a symmetrical plant.
Okay.
I grow a lot of buckeyes too.
A lot of buckeyes?
Past plants are my favorites.
Well, I was just going to ask you. Did you look down at my notes?
No.
Do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite plant?
I do. The Buckeye Cranberry Sparkler is my favorite plant.
Okay. Big.
Yes, and I grow the babies too.
Do you?
Shrill's Hawaiian Lay is my favorite mini. Second by Precious Red.
I've heard a lot about Precious Red lately.
Yeah, Rob's Outer Orbit is my favorite semi.
Okay. Do you grow any of the other Gesnerians?
I have Streptocarpus,
Okay.
one Calaria, one Apicia, pink Akaju.
Well, you guys, y'all saw the pink Akaju, and you
Pink
know why
Akaju on
mine,
what's on the
why I
stand.
left mine, why mine went to its great reward,
Right.
because it didn't like the basement.
Mm-hmm.
My home is just too cold. They like it warm. But so your house must be warmer than mine.
Yes, I have all my other Gesnerians in a spare bedroom that's fairly warm.
Okay.
It's in the center of my house, and it's in West Light, and they seem
So
to
that's
like
gonna be
it.
a little warmer.
It's
Okay.
a little warmer.
Yeah.
And I have a Primulina Hisako.
Oh. I
That's
do
it.
not grow any Primulinas, but I've seen quite a few.
It's a large.
Yeah, it's one of the
it's a large.
with the the big ones. Wow, that's awesome. So tell me, Paula, you grow standards, you grow minis, you grow semis, you have some other Gesnerians, and you're hybridizing. Do you feel that you have a specialty as a grower? Like I consider myself a standard.
I would have to say I'm a standard grower. I'm a
But you
standard
successfully grow minis and semis. Do you do anything different with your minis and semis?
grower. I do. I don't fertilize them as much, and I made a mistake this past because I'm constantly experimenting with different soil mixes, and I made a mistake with my minis and semis. And I was thinking of you, and I was going to write it on the podcast.
You
actually.
should.
I put a tiny sprinkle of blood meal in my mix, and my minis and semis did not like it. I got fertilizer burn in the centers. So I decided I'm just going to keep that mix fairly plain. In my standard mix, I do a modified Buckeye soil mix. I mix some cow manure in there, and the semis and the minis don't like that.
So you mix your own soil,
I do.
and you find that works best for you.
It works best for me.
And you do it differently based on the size of the plant?
Based on the size,
On the
yeah.
size, okay.
My ratio of perlite and vermiculite and the basics, I use ProMix BX. That's standard. And then for the large standards, I'll mix cow manure. I think it's a 1 cup for a big, a little bit of bone meal or triple superphosphate. I throw a tiny bit of food grade diatomaceous earth in there
I've heard about that. Okay.
to keep down the fungus gnat larvae.
Okay.
And then that's it.
Wow. Very cool. Well, tell me if you have a favorite tool. Do you have a favorite tool that is indispensable in your plant room?
Yes.
What is it?
My tattoo wash bottle. It's a squeeze bottle for watering. It's called a tattoo wash bottle because when you're getting a tattoo, they wash your skin with it.
Okay.
And you can buy it on eBay. It's got a little hook, and it looks like one of those sport drink bottles.
Okay.
So those are great. Those
Okay,
are
I
my
would look
favorite. And I
for
have
some-
different sizes of them. I have a big 16 ounce, I have a 32 ounce, and I have a tiny 8 ounce.
Oh, now, this is a brand new one on me. I'm gonna have to look these up.
Tattoo wash
A
bottle.
tattoo. All right, you guys, you got that? A
Tattoo
tattoo wash bottle on
eBay or Amazon.
All right. Thank you so much for sitting
You're
down
welcome.
with me. This
I
is
love you,
awesome.
Annie. I
Oh,
love your
thank you.
podcast. I watch all the time. And I told you I watch, don't do this at home. I watch in my car sometimes. Only, not for what's on the stands. I listen to Annie in the beginning, and then what's on the stands I do at home. So.
That's great. Well, it's been such a pleasure to meet you. And I have one last question for you.
Yes.
What advice would you give to a brand new grower? What's the best advice you could give someone just starting out?
Join a club. Join the African Violet Rat Pack online, the forum. I learned a ton there when I was starting to grow again. And watch Annie's podcast.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you very much. Well, you guys, I'll be right back.
Bye.
Isn't she great? And I was I had to laugh. Tattoo wash bottles. Guys, you know my squirt bottle? Same thing. But you can find them on, sometimes it's easier to find something. Like if you look for a squirt bottle with a nozzle, it's hard to find. But if you look for a tattoo wash bottle on Amazon, you can find them very easily because I checked. So all you have to do is go to Amazon.com or eBay and just put in tattoo wash bottle in the search box there, and you will get your choice of all kinds of tattoo wash bottles. And as you know, I use mine all the time. I just never called it a tattoo wash bottle before. So Paula, thank you for that. Anyway, and thank you again for sitting down with me. So remember I mentioned to you last week that I might have a surprise for you this week? Well, besides Paula, I do have a surprise. I would like you to come with me now to Edinburgh, Scotland.
Hi everybody, I am in Edinburgh, Scotland, and my friend Linda is with me. She's filming me, and I'm at the East Gate of the Royal Botanic Garden, Edinburgh. And hopefully, we're about to see one of the best African Islet species collections anywhere in the world. So come on, let's go. You guys, I'm here in the Montaigne house. I think it's Montaigne. And these are the first Gesneriates I've seen. These are Streptocarpus. And they're just growing like kind of on the hillside in the moss. They're really beautiful. I'm speaking softly, I don't know why, but I hope you can see them. Guys, this is a Chirrita sinensis. Now, we know that Chirritas are now called primulinas. Sorry, there's a lot of ambient noise here, but this is growing on the rocks in the moss. This is St. Paulia intermedia, and you can see it's growing in chip bark, and here in the stones, in the crevices. I'm not sure what this one is. It kind of looks like rupicola to me, but I believe it's a violet, or maybe orbicularis. It kind of has that leaf form. This is Kids' Day at the Botanic Gardens, you guys. And here is another species. Again, I'm not sure which one. Kind of looks like Ionantha. And again, just growing on the rocks. And here's another piece over here. And it doesn't have a tag, so I can't tell you exactly, but this one has more serrated leaves. This is Primulina tamiana. It's growing in the tan bark. You can see it's all along here. Goes all the way over there. And then as we go this way, it's here too. Guys, Linda just found this one. This is St. Paulia shumensis. Again, just growing in a little rock crevice. And it's was just in bloom. This is a giant Primulina under glass, and I think it says Primulina rapoensis, but I'm not sure because my glasses keep steaming up. And here it is again, and it does say Primulina napoensis. And these are in a glass controlled environment. Guys, this one is under glass as well. And what it says is St. Paulia species from the Malfa Hills. I don't know if that's, I don't know it. This is not familiar to me. Maybe Dr. Jeff Smith will know. I'll have to ask him. And again, this is under glass in a container, in a controlled environment. It's beautiful, isn't it? Guys, this is Primulina tulea. And again, this is again in the controlled environment behind the glass. Here's some more Tamiana. And here's a species hanging up there. Again, we're seeing it through the glass, and it does have a blossom or two. The glass is kind of dirty. It's okay. And then as we come down, this is the Tamiana again. You guys, I don't know if you can see these. They're tucked in behind. See right there and right there in between. And they're just, again, growing in the rock crevices. And those are a species of some sort, but I can't tell what they are from here. And I don't see a tag for them from this far away. Just wanted to show you this one more time. This is another the Primulina napoensis one more time. It's really, really interesting. And then look how this is growing. This is a primulina as well, and it's called Primulina ligulliformis. Okay. Now we saw one of these before. This is sinensis, and it still says Chirita, but it's called Primulina. You can see it's just hiding underneath all these other plants. This almost, I mean, you can see everything that's here in this house. It's really amazing.
Surprise! You know, it was very serendipitous, and I know that it was windy in the beginning, and actually we had another piece that we tried to film, and it was so windy you couldn't even hear me talk. But the week before, like 3 days before I went to Scotland, Dr. Jeff Smith came to Illinois, and he was our speaker for the Illinois African Violet Society's fall meet, and he talked about species. And as he was talking about the Royal Botanic, the RBGE, the Royal Botanic Garden, Edinburgh, and this great species collection that they have. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm going there in 3 days. And so I took a chance and I went. And I don't know if they have more, maybe somewhere else, but what I saw, you've just seen what I saw. I filmed everything that I could film, and it was Kids' Day. There was this school class, and they were like right behind me the whole time, or right in front of me. And you can't ask little kids to be quiet. They're there, they're learning, they're having a wonderful time. And so I was trying to talk kind of softly, and I hope you could hear me. At least my voice was still okay back then. It was like the first day that I got to Edinburgh. We had the afternoon free. We got in the morning, we got to our hotel, and then we had the afternoon free. And I thought it was fate, because the Botanic Garden was walking distance from the hotel. I was like, perfect. So my friend Linda and I went over there, and she filmed me in the beginning, and then I filmed in the Montaigne house of everything that I could find. And it was so fascinating to see them just growing. It was kind of tropical, really. This was a warm tropical house, and it was very humid, and they were just tucked into little crevices and just growing on tan bark, and it was just so cool to see them growing, and I really loved it. So I was so happy. That's why I said, well, I might have a surprise for you, because I didn't know, first of all, if I would be able to get there. Second of all, if they would let me film in the house. And I did ask permission, and I told the woman it would be on my podcast, and she said, oh, I don't know, I might have to check. And I said, well, it's not for profit, it's just an educational podcast. And she said, that sounds good. So go ahead. So nobody stopped me, and there was, I just went in and I saw all of the glass houses. We went through the whole thing. It was really cool. So, and it's a beautiful garden. If you ever have a chance, if you're ever in Edinburgh, I would highly recommend it. And particularly if you'd like to see the species plants. It was so cool. So I'm really happy I was able to share that with you. Well, then it's time to take a look at what's on the stands. And we have a slightly longer look this week, because I wanted you guys to see what everything looked like when I got home. So what I did was, on Thursday evening when I got home, and you'll really hear my cold, because my voice sounds a little funny now, but it really was fine. So this is the episode of Funny Voices. Paula said she was hoarse. I'm still kind of voiceless, and the next section that you're going to see, I had a very, very deep, even deeper than now, voice. I had this Kathleen Turner thing going on here with my voice. Anyway, I wanted you to see what things look like. I've been gone for almost 3 weeks, and my cousin was here, and she is wonderful. She checks everything and waters them and puts more water in the reservoirs. And she said, well, the ones in the guest room, they need more water. I think it's warmer in there. Because she is a master gardener, an outdoor gardener. And so, it was really interesting. And I asked her about, the new reservoirs that I made. And of course, they don't evaporate out the way the saucer ones do, which helps, particularly in the winter when I use them, keep the humidity going on here. But the deli container ones that I made, those hold the water because it can't really evaporate out of them as quickly as it does on the open saucers. So we kind of got an idea about that. And so go take a look and see what you think. I'll be right back.
Hi everybody. Forgive my voice. I have a very bad cold. But I'm back from Scotland and I wanted you to see, it's Friday morning, I wanted you to see what the plants look like after me being gone for 2.5 weeks and my cousin taking care of them. She's really wonderful, as you can see. She doesn't turn the plants, and but that's okay. So you can see how this one, how it's really leaning toward the light, and so it just needs a little turn and it'll straighten itself back up. This is EK Sky Azure. Tenary's Royal Trailer is trying to do its thing there with multiple crowns. Shadow Magic, again, needs a turn, trying to bloom. Hope you guys can hear me. I can't really talk much louder. I will start coughing. Middle shelf. Here is Gala Pink. You can really see it leaning. Just give it a little turn. It's getting ready to bloom. Same thing here with Smooch Me. And actually, guys, I'm going to pull the stand out. My cousin has it further in. I'm going to pull it out a little bit. Get it a little closer so I could come around here. So I'm kind of taking a look at what's going on. This is grandifolia. I'm not liking how the center looks. I'm going to take a leaf and let this go. It didn't like the temps in the basement. And for those of you who've been waiting, here's Pow Wow in bloom. Needs a turn. Sorry, everybody needs to get shifted around a little. Third shelf. She did turn that one, interestingly enough. This is Optimara Hawaii. So that's what's happening here in the guest room. You can see that my cousin is great at this. I so appreciate her. Let's go take a look in the basement. Guys, I'm down here in the basement. You can see the trailers all look pretty good over here. This is that little stand. Remember, things didn't get watered. They didn't draw well. I didn't get it set properly. But everything made a comeback. I made sure it was done before I left. Everything back here looking pretty good. Got things looking good in here. There's our challenge plant from Carolee. Really looking good. Take a look over here. These are mostly species. Everything looks to be doing pretty well in here. Take a look down here. Again, things looking okay here. Chilly Willy getting some rusty spots on it. It's probably a little too wet. Everybody all right here. Apisha did really well. Let's walk around because finally this is Radar's Magic and it is in bloom and I want you to see it. Isn't that something? That half and half. I just think it's really beautiful. Here's this tray. Everything looking okay here. Here's a closer look at Apisha My Precious. Thank you, my friend Julie, for giving me this. It is the first Apisha I've ever had do really well for me. I'm thrilled to have it. And we're just going to turn, and here we are over on the Streptocarpus stand. And Heartland's White Gold is in bloom. Nobody else is in bloom. And Dale's which one do I have? I can never remember, you guys. It's Polar, I think it's Polar Berry. Pardon me. It's getting really quite large, but it's not blooming. I don't know what's up with that. Midnight Flame is doing really well, but it's not blooming. Now, remember, while I was away, I was gone almost the whole month of October. And the fall is here, winter is here. It was outside yesterday, and I really needed my winter coat. So the temps are changing in the house, and that's going to affect how the plants grow. So we'll see how they do in the coming weeks. All right, let's go upstairs to the sunroom. Guys, here we are in the sunroom, and you can see it's not sunny. It's dark out. It's a little after 6 in the morning, and I have jet lag, so of course I've been up for a while. But I also really wanted to show you what everything looks like before I really do anything. So here are some of the plants. There's this Yellowstone. This is yesterday's Valentine. Much happier up here in the warmer temps, as you can see. Let's walk around. Here's Grape Glory blooming again. Everybody needs a turn. This is Armageddon, and as you know, I'm not sure this is a keeper. It's growing well, but there's just not a lot. There's not a high blossom count for me. Let's go down to the second shelf. Here is Jersey Snowflakes. And here's the only plant that's not too happy. And it looks like somehow, this is my Texas hot chili. It feels dry to me. Somehow the wick maybe got out of the water. It's not drying quite as well. But it's hanging in there, and it'll be fine in another day or so. The heat just came on. Also, this room is very cold. Guys, this is Buckeye Celebrity Status. Can you see how well it's grown? Wowee. Let's walk around this way. Here's my Columnia Apollo. Here's the Fisherman's Paradise up here. Needs a turn. And got a light. I've got a tube out down here, so I'll need to fix that. But we got a leaf that needs to go there on Buckeye Celebrity Status. Guys, let's go over. I haven't taken a look at the big box violet. Let's see how it's doing. Shortstop. Back to the kitchen. Here's my Petrocosmia carrii. It is not happy. I'm going to repot it and see what happens. I don't know. Cross your fingers. And this is that amazing Chimera streptocarpus that I got from Jeff Smith at the Illinois Fall Meet right before I left town. And I didn't have time to repot it, so I put it over here away from everything except for the Petrocosmia. I think somebody actually moved that over here while I was away, either my cousin or cleaning lady. Anyway, they're hanging out here. They seem to be doing okay. Now let's go look at the big box violet. Well, it's a little dark over here, but you can see that I did disbud it, and actually it's not looking too bad. It does need to be repotted. Let's take a look at the begonia. Well, it didn't die either. It's hanging in there. It doesn't look ideal, but I didn't kill it yet. So anyway, that is the look at what's on the stands this week after an extended vacation. I'll be right back.
So you can see that it is truly possible to go on an extended vacation and have your plants be totally fine. So, my cousin was a novice at this when she first did it for me, and her dad used to water the plants for me occasionally when I'd be away. So it's not like this isn't rocket science. If you've got a reservoir, if you use a wicking method like the modified Texas style that I use or regular Texas style potting, as long as you've got a wick that can get into the reservoir, the plant's going to be getting the water that it needs while you're away. And it's a no-brainer for someone to just come over and add water to the reservoirs, just keep going along and adding the water. That way nothing gets overwatered because they're all on a wick. And I have found that to work really, really well. So, and I thought it would be interesting for you guys to see. I mean, everything looked really good. The only one who looked a little bit crabby was Texas hot chili. And I've corrected that, and it looks just fine. In fact, here it is. It's right here. You can see I took a couple of leaves off of it. It's got a couple of blossoms that one that needs to go. But it bounced, it's fine. Once I took it off the reservoir and put it back on a saucer, absolutely fine. Everyone's fine. I did a lot of just budding. Found another sucker on Fresh Air. Got rid of that. So I did a lot of cleanup that I did not show you on camera. I just wanted to show you what things were going to look like. Well, it's time to get the bail money ready, and I do have some events to share with you. And first of all, the Tri-State African Violet Council, of which Paula Bell is an officer, a member and officer. So if you are in the Morristown, New Jersey area next Sunday, November 3rd, I really encourage you to go, because as I mentioned, and I think I mentioned, Paula is a champion grower. I mean, she grows some stunning plants, and you never know, she might have some of her hybrids, as a new in the seedling class, and I would be excited to hear about those. So Paula, please share photos if you have some of your hybrids. We're all waiting to hear. It's exciting. Anyway, it's the Tri-State African Violet Council, and if I'm not mistaken, I want to say that Janet Reamer is also a member of the council, so you might meet her there. Anyway, it's their 51st annual show and sale, and it is Sunday, November 3rd now I hope I say this correctly, at the Frelinghuysen Arboretum in Morristown, New Jersey. I'll link to this in the show notes. The link for this one goes directly to Facebook, to their Tri-State Facebook page, okay? Also, the African Violet Club of Greater Kansas City is having their annual judged show and sale, and that will be Saturday and Sunday, November 2nd and 3rd, at the Luce Park Garden Center in Kansas City, Missouri. A wonderful city, Kansas City, Missouri. Everything's up to date in Kansas City, as they say. And I'm sure that will be a wonderful show too. So if you are in the Kansas City, Missouri area, I encourage you to go and take a look. Thousand Oaks African Violet Society, near and dear to my heart. They were our sister club with Ventura when I was still in Southern California, and it was like being able to enter 2 shows a year, because we would always do our shows in conjunction with each other, because Thousand Oaks is not that far away from Ventura. So when Ventura would do their show, I'm sure I've mentioned this to you guys before, when Ventura would do their show, we would say that the Ventura County African Violet Society, in conjunction with the Thousand Oaks African Violet Society, presents, and then the name of the show. And they would do the same for us. It would be the Thousand Oaks Society in conjunction with Ventura. And so wonderful growers there. You guys might meet Carol Gailey, might meet Ann Wong, who you met, saw photos, at least of, I think, with me. At least some photos probably from National. I got to see Anne and Florence. I haven't seen them in so long. It was so wonderful to see them again. And the Thousand Oaks show is a wonderful show. And I think that it was the last show I judged before I left Southern California. And and it's at the Thousand Oaks Library. It will be Saturday and Sunday, November 2nd and 3rd. And again, it's the Thousand Oaks Library, which is really lovely, and it's in Thousand Oaks, California. And the Lone Star African Violet Council is having their convention show and sale on Friday and Saturday, November 1st and 2nd, and that will be at the Inn of the Hills in Kerrville, Texas. So and that will also be a tremendous show, I am sure, because everything's bigger and better in Texas. And as we learned when we were in Austin this year, anyway, there are a lot of growers in Texas, and this is a regional council. I'm sure you will see some phenomenal plants. So if you are in that area, I encourage you to go and have a lot of fun. Well, it's time to keep moving forward. I really want to thank you for joining me this week and kind of get back on track here. I've got some things and stuff to talk about in the weeks to come. I sure hope you enjoyed meeting Paula today and also taking a trip to Scotland with me. And it's time to keep moving forward. I said that already. Sorry. I'm still kind of tired, and I think I'm still a little jet lagged, although I've got it mostly on the run. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for coming back every week. For those of you who are new, thank you for joining me, and I hope you will come back every week as well. Thank you for the ratings and the star ratings and reviews on iTunes. Those are very helpful to keep the podcast visible and for those who may be trying to find it there. And thank you for watching. I hope your days will be filled with all the things you love. Good growing. I'll see you next time.